abdicated its role as a leader in world affairs. And that it is no longer going to protect democracies. It is no longer trying to protect human rights. We gave that up. And that is the beginning of a new era in global politics. And that, that's really heartbreaking. I mean, to me, anyway. I talked about this years ago when I talked about the isolationism of the radical right. And, is there an upside to it? And, my big thing is I don't know what the future is going to bring. That's sort of one of the curses of being human, right? We can't see what the future is going to do. But so I can't say what's going to happen, and I can't say what things look like going forward. But I said at the time, I liked the rules-based international order that the United States and primarily European countries, although others have been included in it after that, put into place after World War II. The idea that rather than simply taking smaller countries and injuring their populations inside your own countries, that people have, that countries have to live by international rules. I like rules. I'm an institutionalist. I think rules are very good, and I think that idea of leaching out of the international scene the possibilities for people simply to exert their efforts to take over another country have gone a lot toward reducing our dangers of having a world war. And we just walked away from that. And no country should ever, at least in our lifetimes, ever expect that we are going to be there, because we have just proved that we will not. So that's going to change everything. That is the rules-based international order that has protected the world since 1945-ish, a little bit later for NATO, is now going to be replaced by different kinds of alliances. And it certainly looks as if the Trump administration is going to ally itself with autocracies around the world. And an autocracy is, the fact that people did not know what an autocracy was or authoritarianism was when Sarah Longwell of The Bulwark was doing focus groups, I found really shocking. But what that means is it's a form of government in which power is concentrated in the hands of one individual, sometimes spread out through a cabinet that can theoretically offer advice. But if one person's in charge, you tell that one person what they want to hear. And by the way, those people always go squirrely. They by definition, they always go squirrely, because you cannot live your whole life with people saying, oh, yes, you're brilliant, without it meaning that you cease to make good decisions, because you cease to consider alternatives and to second guess yourself, which is a sign of a healthy mind, as opposed to a dictator who has been told, for way too many years that everything they do is brilliant. So the idea that we're going to align now with autocracies like Russia, like Hungary, that's a very big shift in world history. And it's, like I say, it might be good. We don't know what's going to happen. It might be that, the United States has not always used its power responsibly. And, many hundreds of thousands of people have been made refugees or been killed in American adventures overseas, like in Afghanistan and in Iraq. So maybe, this is a good thing for the world. I just didn't like to see it, because to me, that older system, flawed though it was, had provided the kinds of stability that had protected the world since World War II. That's over. I can't imagine why any country would ever again trust the United States to be there for it. But we'll see how things shake out going forward. And much though I would like to talk more about what things look like internationally right now, I think you're probably mostly interested in the way things are going to play out internally.